We're going to review dividing fractions that you guys worked on yesterday. This is based off of the results from your guys' practice on Freckle. I picked the 2 questions you guys missed the most. The biggest rule to remember with dividing fractions is that you're going to keep the first fraction the same, change that division sign to a multiplication sign, and then flip over that second fraction. If you don't do those steps, it won't work out right. The first question you guys had was trading out the x for the number 6 and then seeing if they were true. Then you had to pick all of them that were correct. You have to test every possible answer to see if every possible answer applies. So our first question, we have 1 over x divided by 4, and does that equal 1/24th if we take the x and we replace it with a 6? So we're going to take the 4, it's a whole number, we're going to make it a fraction by putting a 1 under it. We're going to take 1 over x, we're going to keep it the same, but division turns into multiplication. Then the 4 over 1 we're going to flip to 1/4. We're going to see if that works out. If I take out the x and I put a 6 right here, does it equal 1 over 24? 1 times 1 is 1. 6 times 4 is 24, and that one is in fact true. So we're going to say that yes, that's a correct answer. Okay, moving on to B. I have 1/2 divided by 6 equals 1 over 6. So first step again, turn that whole number into a fraction by putting a 1 under it. I've rewritten it. 1/2. Division turns into multiplying. 6 over 1 has turned into 1 over 6. Now, on my answer right here, it says it should equal 1 over x, which we're going to cross that out, and we're going to say it equals 1/6. So does it? Let's see. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 6 is 12. No, this does not match this, meaning it does not apply. So this answer is incorrect. Okay, on to C. 1/7 divided by x, which in this case is going to become a 6, is that equal to 1 over 42? Alright, so I rewrote it. I kind of messed up there. This would become basically 6 over 1. Alright, so 1/7 times 1 over 6, because we flipped it. We're going to take that x. That becomes our 6. 1 times 1 is 1. 7 times 6 is 42. That does in fact match. So this one is a winner. Alright, last one. 1/2 divided by 3, is that equal to 1 over x? So put that 1 under the 3. Oh, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Keep it, change it, flip it. We're going to see if it equals 1/6. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 3 is 6, so it does match, and we're going to keep that one as correct. So on this answer, you guys actually had 3 of them you had to find. This is straight off of Freckle from yesterday. All right. On these type of word problems, we really need to think about what it is we're dividing. It says 4 students sitting at a table were given 1/3 pan of brownies to share. What fraction of the whole pan will each student get if they share the pan of brownies equally? Okay, so they're sharing brownies. So we're splitting up the brownies. What fraction of the pan are they getting? So what are we splitting? Brownies or people? We are dividing up the brownies. So we have to write the fraction for the brownies first, because on division, the first number says what you're splitting apart. So we have 1/3 a pan of brownies divided between 4 friends. We're going to make that 4 into a fraction, putting a 1 under it. Then we're going to keep it. We're going to change division to multiplication. We're going to change that, and then we're going to take the last part and we're going to flip it over. Now we have to solve it. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 4 is 12. So what fraction of the brownies did each person get? They got 1/12 of the pan. Alright, so we're going to do some super quick review. I'm sorry if my stylus clicks as I go. I'm not sure why PowerPoint has decided it should make fun clicking noises, but we're just going to look at a couple real quick. Alright, if I have 2/3 divided by 4, I'm going to keep the first fraction the same, 2/3. I'm going to take dividing and change it to multiplication. And then I'm going to take my 4, put a 1 under it, and then flip this over. So it becomes 1/4. Then all you do is multiply, and you are good to go. Now, if you remember, this cannot be a final answer. You need to simplify. Sorry for the sloppy handwriting. We're going to divide by 2 to simplify, and our final answer would actually be 1/6. All right, one more real quick. I had 4/5. I was dividing by 3. First step, make that into a whole number. We're going to transform this. We're going to keep the first fraction the same. Change it. Flip it. Alright, so taking a good look at 4/15, the only thing that can go into this is a 1, a 2, and a 4. 1 doesn't count when we're trying to simplify, and 2 and 4 won't go into 15, so this is already simplified.